How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today is the Fractal FM3. If you have seen a couple of the patches that I've put up before, and then you've gone away and downloaded them, and you've left thumbs ups and comments and stuff like that, I appreciate it. So thank you very much for that. You're the man. This is basically just a kind of a quick run through, because obviously there's a lot of Fractal videos out there showing you how to insert stuff and take stuff out, and it's really deep editing and stuff like that. And as you will realize this as we go along, and some of my Helix videos, I'm kind of a meat and potatoes, straight to the point. This is how I do it. You want to go and download it and then change it kind of guy. That's what I do. I'm not a scientist, man. I'm no scientist, dude. So this is 3 scenes. It's very straightforward, quite simple. We're using 2 different amps, but the same cab for all right? So what's going to happen is scene 3 is our clean sound, and I always run the clean through the same cab as the lead as well. And the reason that I do that is it's just preference. It's just personal preference. It's like anything. If it sounds good to you, then that's all that matters. And some people might download this patch, and they probably will download this patch and just change everything, and that's okay. I've got no problem with that whatsoever. So our clean scene, I was going to say snapshot then. It's not Helix. Don't make that mistake, mate. So the guitar I'm using today is the Charvel Sandemus. It has the Seymour Duncans and the 59. They're quite powerful pickups. People say, well, they're not that powerful. They are, and they're quite glassy, and they can be quite abrasive as well. So you've really got to be careful with the volume knob and the tone knob. The good thing with the Sandemus is it's got this really cool feature on the tone system, whereas if you turn it all the way up, it disables it, so you get that, I've just got a volume pot and that's it. But it's also, if you roll it back, then it reactivates the circuit, and it lets you kind of get what you want. So at the minute it's off. I'm using the middle position, so it's tapped. Ever roll the volume back a little bit. Kind of nice. It's quite toppy, but I kind of like that. I quite like it being sort of cutting and almost insulting. So that runs again through the G12 Creamback with a 121 ribbon mic. I think there's a 57 on there as well. Then that hits the enhancer. I love the enhancer. If you've watched any of my Helix videos, I always put the tile reverb in to kind of simulate what the FM3 and what the X8 did with the enhancer, and it just adds a little something. So if I turn it off, and obviously I would adjust that a little bit more if I was kind of going for an ambient patch, which we're not. Then that hits the ambient stereo delay. We're not doing an ambient patch, but we're using an ambient delay. Go figure. It's set to 500 milliseconds. Obviously you will change that, or you'll tap tempo it. Mixes at 15%, and the left-right ratio, the reason that we adjust that is because if you're listening in headphones or you've got speakers going at home, you'll hear it clip from side to side. It'll kind of do that. But if we run that all the way to 100%, it'll run straight down the middle, which is not what we want at all. Slipping into a little bit of Downton Abbey there. I don't know what that's about. Okay, so again, nothing obscene there. And then the London plate verb. The London plate verb is kind of the go-to now for me. I really love that. I've not really needed to go anywhere else with reverb, that's kind of my go-to. Mix is set at 9% for that. A little bit of pre-delay, and stereo spread set to 90, and that's it. The kind of stock settings really, apart from the mix, I kind of just pull it back a little bit. So that is our clean, and again, the amp that we're using for the clean is the 59 bass, or 59 Bassman. Input drive's quite low, mids and trebles pushed a little bit, and the presence is up. And the bright switch is on. So again, like I said, it's quite a toppy clean. But so these you could really adjust. I mean, for a start, I'd probably pull the treble back, leave the presence where it is, and kind of go at it that away. So number 2 is our main. Let's just go to number 1 first. Number 1 is our kind of crunch sound. And what happens with the crunch sound is we're using the Atomica High. Not a, it's not an obscene amount of gain. I mean, it's past halfway, so it might be to some. And the bright switch is on. Same cab, same enhancer, slightly different delay. We're using the 2290 with modulation, which is really nice. Same with the London Plate Verb again. And the crunch, it's a gainy beast. So it's all there. Not a lot of. There's not a lot of an extreme amount of delay on there. Obviously, it's just kind of sitting where it needs to. It's quite quick. Doesn't really get in the way of chord play. So that's kind of your rhythm patch anyway. That's kind of my go-to. Number 2 then takes us to lead, and obviously what you will see is the delay will change to digital stereo. Again, 400 milliseconds, and the left-right ratio, we've dropped that right down. Not right down, we dropped that to like 74%. It then activates the TS808, which is kind of, industry standard settings of no drive, push the tone a little bit, and make sure that the mix is 100%, because tube screamers by nature are mid-humpy kind of pedals. They push the mids a little bit. So this is where it kicks the amp kind of into life, and the gain is still the same. And the reason that I've left it like that is because suppose we were playing the crunch patch and we were using the different delay, but we preferred the digital stereo and we didn't want to use the 2290 with modulation. We just thought we liked this being off, and we just wanted to use this delay. It just gives us a couple of different options without changing the gain structure of the amp. I hope that made sense. In my head, it sounded like it made sense. So basically what it does is it leaves the gain of the amp exactly the same. It doesn't alter it. It just gives us the option to kind of turn this on or off. Yes, we could jump into more scenes. We could, do whatever we wanted, because it's a powerful unit and we have got the options to do that. So anyway, this is the main. And it's all there, man. So that's all tremendous. It's basic. It's just basic patch, which is kind of just how I like to do it. So supposing we wanted to let's just go to crunch. We wanted to put a wah in there because on the floor down here, I've got the FM3, I've got 2 pedals. I've got a volume pedal in there, which is not activated in this patch, and one which I will use for wah. So if you don't know how to do that, let's show you how to do it. It's kind of a lesson, but it's also not. So I'm going to go to the block before the drive. I'm going to right click. Up comes the menu. We're going to scroll all the way down and across to wah wah. It's not just wah, it's wah wah. And we're going to hit the first one, and then we're going to go above the control. I'm going to right click. It says none in the source, so I'm going to click pedal 1. The auto engage we want on a medium speed. Some people prefer fast. And the off value, I just leave that. So when the pedal is activated backwards, it's off then. It's only when I go forward on the pedal, that's when the wah kind of kicks in. And the reason that I do that is I've got an old Morley wah lying around from way back when, and I just kind of prefer it that way. Not going to adjust the frequencies on this because you can do that once you download this patch. You can kind of go into the the sub menus and just have a little fiddle around with it yourself. So let's just move over and hit this wah pedal for you. So obviously you see the wah disengaging when the pedal comes back. It's really, really straightforward. I think the FM3 kind of gets a little bit of flack for not being as easy to use as some of the Line 6 HX stuff, which to a degree is probably true. But I think once you spend a little bit of time with it and kind of tickle it and poke it and do all the right things, then, anything's possible. So this patch is available for your download. You can go and get it. It's in the description. We got a crunch, we got a lead where the TS808 comes on and the drive stays the same on the amp, and then we swap amps when we go to the clean. And all this, like everything that I ever build, is just a template for you because it depends what you're listening back to. Are you listening through headphones? Are you using a different guitar with different pickups? It will sound slightly different. You've got to readjust stuff. So let us name it something funky. Let's just call it Big Atomic. And that's it. All right. So as always, thanks for watching. If you haven't hit that bell, hit the bell, hit the subscribe button, because I've got goldfish to feed. I've just started breeding goldfish. I've got 1 goldfish. I've kind of got to grow another one, and subscribing will help, because the ferret pornography kind of didn't work out the way that I thought it was going to, and I'm moving into goldfish. So yeah, all right, see you in the next one.